how committed are you to splitting dates argument? So I'm pretty committed to it. So the only scenario where I will pay for the first date, where I'll pay for her, is if I significantly out earn her, or she's just a young woman, you know, she's 20, 21, she's in college or whatever. And
I'm surprised to hear this. I didn't know this was your thought. So you don't, you wouldn't pay for a girl's meal on the first date?
no,
Oh, really?
we'll split.
Okay.
I'll split the bill.
Do you tell her this beforehand?
No.
Oh,
So,
wow.
okay, that's what I have the issue with. I feel like if you acknowledge it beforehand, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But if
okay.
I also go by the rule of, like, if whoever is asking out the other
Yeah,
person
I agree.
pays.
Definitely. Yeah.
So if I ask out a guy,
Nope.
I'm gonna
I'll
pay.
Yeah.
I like splitting.
Yeah, just
I
let
think
her.
it's
I
like,
split.
Yeah, it's
I'm fine with splitting.
Splitting's
No,
fine.
look.
Just let her know.
especially if it's the
Like,
first
let
date,
her-
Nah.
like you were saying.
Nah,
Like if
don't
you
let
don't
her
know
know.
each other,
Don't
why
let
are
her
you
I would let a
paying
guy
for this
know.
person?
I'd be
I
like,
wouldn't
hey, can
let
we
her know.
split?
Do you let the bill come and then you let her know?
No, I do some gangster shit.
Ooh, what do you
Okay.
do?
All right, here's what I do. First off, I might arrive 5 minutes early, or I might arrive on time, and I know she's going to be 10 minutes late because that's been my experience. Y'all be late
Maybe
for
yours.
first dates.
Yeah, you're.
You don't come
I
pick her up.
guess.
Fuck no, I don't pick her up.
What if she asked?
Nah, I'm not picking her up.
I'll tell him.
She can meet me there. No, it's just like if the girl wouldn't be comfortable going over to my place for the first date, I'm not comfortable. If the
Going
date
to
goes
pick her up.
bad, I'm not comfortable being your ride.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
that's not, I can understand.
I don't.
that's
wa-
totally
That's-
fair.
I don't want
see
to.
that.
Like, if you're
That's fair.
uncomfortable coming to my place on the first date, I'm uncomfortable picking you up at your address. You getting into my car. Like, we
That's
can meet
fair.
in public
That's
for the
fair.
first time.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's how I would always do it. Just
I think
safety.
I think that's Yeah. fine. I don't think a guy. I certainly don't think guys always have to pay on. I don't think it's a
Yeah.
red
Well,
flag
let me
if a guy
give you my
splits it at any
reasons.
point.
Yeah, let's hear
But
it.
No,
it's a really
some-
good sign.
some
if
women-
he does. That's really thoughtful. That shows he's caring and generous.
Oh, it's. By the way, this loses me women that I'm not willing to pay, but it's the hill I'm willing to die on. So okay, here's what you do, right? You get there 5 minutes early. Boys, listen up. Listen up. You get there 5 minutes early. If it's a sit-down place where a waiter comes, sometimes I don't do no dinner dates, guys, but sometimes there's drink places where a waiter will come, like someone will come and serve you at a table. So if it's like that, when the waiter comes, you're there early, you're the only one there. You tell him, hey, we're going to do separate checks. Separate checks. You tell him ahead of time. That way, when you ask for the check or whatever, boom.
So you're too afraid to
Bro,
tell them?
what?
I just don't understand why you're
Yeah.
afraid to tell them.
Tell the
Yeah.
girl.
Why are you
I
straight
don't think
front?
I wouldn't have a problem with someone saying we're splitting a check.
Yeah.
I would offer it personally.
What are you trying to like figure out? Why not telling them? Is this,
Yeah.
are you
No,
supposed to see a reaction?
It's just easy.
Is it
It's just there's
enjoyable?
less. If you wait until, if you don't establish that before your date comes, then there's just like an opportunity for a miscommunication or a mishap.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tell the waiter up front, hey, we're going to be splitting checks from the get-go.
I'm just curious. Has a girl ever like I don't have cash, or like has she ever like responded or denied to pay the payment? I mean, have you ever had trouble with that?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
I think there's never been an issue. Oh, I don't have a.
Well,
I
my
don't have a
Wait,
wallet.
I
But-
had a roommate back at home, and she told me a horrific story where she went on a first date, and this guy, you know, same principle. He was like, we're planned on splitting a payment, but he took her to like a group event where he had all of his friends and their girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
So they're sitting at a round table, checks come in, so they're gonna do the split payment thing, and he basically was like, "Oh crap, I totally forgot my wallet."
Oh yeah, I've
Did
had
he,
guys
though?
forget their wallet.
And-
I haven't forgotten mine.
You
Never
know,
had that
and
happen
he
to me.
he explained afterward he was thinking they're gonna split it, so he assumed that she had the money, and she had to like tell this waitress like, I did not bring my wallet.
No.
I don't, and so like all these people at their table are just like looking at them, super awkward.
my
But
God.
I don't know. I just feel like that could totally been alleviated if someone just
If you're
says,
just
"Hey, just
honest.
bring, you know, everybody just make your payment." Like I don't know,
Yeah.
pay half.
Here's another method. If it's not a situation where there's a waiter that comes up, like it's a bar, you go up to get the drink. Again, you arrive early, you get your drink. I'm not a big drinker. I'll have maybe one drink max. That's it for the night. I'm not going to keep a tab open. I'm going to get my drink. I'm going to sit down somewhere else, not at the bar. And then she comes in, she's late, right? She's going to be late. And then I'm like, oh, hey, I already got my drink. If you want to go ahead and get a drink, boom, it's figured out.
That's actually it's pretty solid. That would give me a pretty good indicator that I'm going halves.
Or yeah.
Why don't
I
you
mean,
just
Yeah.
communicate this to her? I think that's
When?
very what?
like before the date, before at the front, before
Why
we even,
or when?
No, when?
Oh.
Before we even meet.
Whenever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not on your date with you. So it's kind of up to you and how you feel about that person and being like, hey, like, just in your conversation, be like, hey, is it okay if we
I don't
split
know.
the check?
I think that's weird if you like.
So it's better to just not tell them?
And then let the
Well,
No,
bill
it would
come
be
and
weird.
split.
I
If-
mean,
if-
I would think every girl would like assume that you're.
No,
It would
I
depend
feel-
on the wording.
I
If
don't
they're
think
like, can I
that's
take
true
you
at
out to
all.
dinner?
Like, I mean, like, go to a group of girls and be. Most of them are like, oh, what did my boyfriend get me, or what did my side guy get me, and all that. It's all about materialistic, what they have, what they're gonna get. I mean, that's. I'm gonna be very frank. No, there's no way that they are gonna want to pay anything, and most chances are they're probably not gonna bring their wallet. So, I think this principle here is gonna come with a bunch of like roller coasters with people who.
I've maybe lost some women because of it, but it's honestly not been a major
Just because
issue.
of that,
And
or,
most
like-
most women bring their purse on a date. I mean, I'm not picking them up, right? So they've driven themselves,
Right.
Or they've taken an Uber.
see, yeah.
They've got their whatever Apple Pay or whatever bullshit it is. So I don't do food dates. That occasionally maybe I'll do it, but a simple drink
Brian,
date.
I feel like you're living out of a scarcity
I was
mindset
gonna
here.
say.
No, I'll tell you the reason why I do that.
Like
So-
maybe if you were going on like hundreds of dates a week and like you really
Are
like
you?
it's taking a huge dent in your like finances that you need to like plan it out that much.
It's
but-
not about the money. It's about the principle.
Okay.
It's about the principle.
But I think
Okay.
they would argue that would be a principle.
What's the
Because
principle?
I don't even know what the principle
Yeah.
is.
And,
What
and
is
the
the
principle
I
in
mean,
your
I'll
work-
sit down with the girl and they'll be like, oh, he didn't pay for my dinner. And they'd be really pissed off about it. They'll never see the guy again.
That's
and
fine.
they'd be like,
Goodbye.
it's the principle. But it's so funny. You say that it's the principle, and she'll say it's the principle. What's the principle? What's the principle?
Well,
I just
let
want
me
to
tell you the scenarios in which I would pay. Okay. So if I got the sense that she was traditional, if she was traditional and okay, also if she's younger, 19, 20, 21, whatever, she's in
That's
college.
smart.
She's in college, then I'm going to pay. Then I'm going to pay. But if I'm going out with a litigation attorney that's making $300,000 a year,
Okay.
I'm not going to pay. No,
Okay,
but
well, this
I've gone out. I've met. There was a litigation attorney that I went out with, and she making probably $300,000 a year. This was like 10 years. No, sorry, not 10 years. 5 years ago. She was like, oh, I want to be wined and dined and treated like, and I'm like, bro, you make $300,000 a year. Like, no, I'm not gonna pay for you.
No, that would make sense. I think that would be understandable. I guess the age thing does apply.
She
yeah,
was-
that makes
she
more
was
sense.
out-
'Cause it'd be dusty, Brian. if like,
What's up?
if like, because if I go out on a date with a guy who's a couple years older, like I'm still a college student. I do like I don't have a real
Right.
job, and he, even on principle, like wanted to split the check. Like even though I'm fine paying for my own meal, I'm not gonna expect you to. That's just sort of that's principle's going a little too far there. At that point, like if you have a real job and I'm in college, then that's sort of like
Yeah.
Well,
confusing.
that's what I just said though. Is that
I
if
know.
she-
So
if
you
she's in
got it
college-
right. I was worried.
Yeah.
But
No, if
you
she's
got
in-
it right.
college
That's
students?
fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
If she's in college, honestly, most of the women I date are like mid to late 20s, early 30s. So like in their careers.
Yeah.
But like
That's
occasionally, yes, maybe grad student, for example.
Yeah.
Even grad student could be late 20s. Grad student's a bit iffy though. I don't know. Even then, undergrad, sure. Grad student, nah.
You
Whatever,
don't know
she
they're
does.
striking
I'm
the
a-
grad
I was
students.
about to
Literally
say.
biggest grad student strike right now. They're homeless and
literally about to say
starving.
she's
So
doing that.
actually, please buy their food.
Over 18.
But okay, look,
The undergrads have more money than the grad students right now. I can tell you that. So
perhaps. But look, it's just if she's in her career, look, I've dated nurses. I dated more fucking nurses than I can count. I've dated a pharmacist. Dated a I dated a physician's assistant. I dated a doctor. I've dated a chick who was an architect. I've dated researchers, all like career women making 6 figures. I'm not paying for you on the first date. Fuck out of here with that shit.
So I'm guessing the principle is, hey, if you have the money, pay your own shit. Is that the principle
and
on both sides?
also here's the thing.
Is that it?
Well, also here's the thing, right? We're in California. Most of the women I date, I say, are pretty left-leaning liberal women. I'd say I'm like center left. Let's not get into politics.
Right.
Center left.
What? Okay.
Let's not get into it. Let's not get into it.
You're right.
We're not into it.
Be glad that I'm not far right, but okay. So if I'm dating a liberal woman, she probably believes in gender equality. Okay, you can't be a feminist. You can't be for gender equality until the check comes. Equality is not a buffet, no pun intended, that you get to pick and choose what equality that you want and don't want. If you believe in gender equality, when you go on a date with a guy, you pay for your food, he pays for his.
I feel like there is no issue with that. I think it's personal preference. I'm going to be honest, the way I like to do it, if I go on a first date, they pay for my meal, and I choose that I want to go on a second date, I'll pay for their meal.
What
at
if
that
there's no
date.
second date?
That sucks.
Okay, so he
But-
right, so he made an investment that is not going to be, there's not going to be a second date, so he spent money on you that has, in essence, gone to waste, so to speak.
He had a lovely experience with me, so I don't know what you mean it went to
you
waste.
you both had a lovely experience.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you?
did you? Then why isn't there a second date then?
So what you're saying is, your time, if a guy wants to get your time, he has to pay for it.
No.
I don't think anyone's saying
He doesn't
that.
have to, but like if a guy
anyone's saying
wants to pay for my meal, how I like to like approach it is if he pays for my first meal and he's choosing to pay that
Okay.
on the second meal, if we go on a second date, I'll pay for that. That's how
Yeah.
I choose to make it equal, because
Okay.
I don't want I want to show that I can also provide, and two, I don't want to make them feel like they have to pay for my time.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many first dates do you go on? And I know you guys are in college, so I feel like a lot of people in college, it's much more casual. Hey, let's.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not. It's more like, hey, let's meet at a party. Let's meet out. Like, it's not so much, hey, let's meet out for
Yeah.
dinner, for a drink. I feel like that starts becoming more of a thing as you get out of college. But I mean, how many of your first dates that you've been on have only been
Like
first dates and didn't proceed any further?
I wouldn't say like a lot. I just don't choose to date a lot either. But
Okay.
I've had guys, and I will choose not to go to an expensive restaurant, because like I think it'd be stupid to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this restaurant that I couldn't even afford. Why would I expect someone who's around my same age to be able to do the same thing?
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like I try to be courteous about like where we're going to eat. Like you can take me to In-N-Out and I'll be happy. Like
Same.
spend $10 on
facts.
your meal and my meal, and I'll be very happy.
Okay. So, I guess my question is, who should pay on the first date? We'll go around the table on this.
Either or, I don't
Okay.
think it matters.
Well, you said whoever asks.
Yeah, if you guys want to split it, then yes, you can. If the guy wants to pay, he can pay. If the girl wants to pay, he can. Like I said, I think it depends who asks the person out. If I'm asking a guy out, I'll pay. If
But
he
okay,
asks me
so
out.
if the guy asks, he should pay.
if he says, "Can I take you out to dinner?" then I'm gonna be
Yeah.
expecting he's gonna pay for it.
Well, if he says that, then yes. But if a guy, for example, let's say a guy worded it like this: would you like to grab a drink or would you like to grab food?
I wouldn't expect him to be paying for my meal.
Okay, guys, that's how you should be asking. That's how I ask. I'm not like, hey, can I please
Yeah.
take you to dinner? No, it's like, do you want to grab food?
Yeah.
So I think phrasing can be important there. But
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that as well.
so whoever asks should pay, or
No, it's yeah. So I guess the way
depends
that,
on how he phrases
it
it.
depends on how you phrase it. I can't say the word, because like in some cases men are more dominant too, where they're just like, I'm gonna pay, give me the check, and they'll just like grab it like right away. But in other cases, like if it was asked that way, I would totally be willing to go 50-50.
Okay, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't really go on a lot of dates with checks. I usually like to picnic.
Well,
or go
you're
to the
in
beach.
college, so I feel like it's a bit more, hey, let's hang out, let's go to a party kind of thing, right?
I'd be fine with paying if they offer to pay and they want to. That's cool, but I would just default split.
Okay.
For me, it's mostly like who asks who, because
Okay.
like the majority of the time, if he asks me, then he does end up paying. But if I ask them, then like I do offer to pay, and they're like, okay, yeah, cool, because like I did ask them to go out. But if they do ask me in like the way you asked, like, oh, do you want to go grab a drink? Most of the time when that has happened, they pay anyways. Like
Yeah, guys will still pay in that
Yeah.
circumstance too.
and like I don't know, like the only time where I was paying most of the time was because I knew that like he's the guy I was dating before, he was gonna be a lawyer, and like he didn't have a job. Like he was literally working on Fridays for 2 hours, and like I'm working every single day 10-hour shifts, so like I have the money to pay. So I'm like, oh, you want to go to dinner? Okay, like I can take you out to like we both go get like a $60 plate, and like I can
Yeah.
pay, you know, like I don't know.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
How I like to do it is just always like offer to be like, oh, like how much, like should I Venmo you or whatever, and they'll pretty
Yeah.
much always be like, no, like you're not paying me anything, and then I just like insist on paying like a cash tip or something so I can show how much I
Yeah.
appreciate
The
the
I always
tip.
offer
yeah.
a tip.
Tip,
If they pay for it, I
definitely.
will be like, do you want me to pay tip?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can show, you know, that I really appreciate that they took me
Yeah.
to
But
Mhm.
do you think whoever asks should pay? Come on, don't.
Well,
What?
no, not like all of it. I honestly don't think there's any instance where I would pay for a guy's meal, even if I was the one who asked him.
But you, okay, let's say the
Unless I
guy
was-
the
unless
guy
I was
asks you
dating
out.
him, but there's no, no, I don't. What?
If the guy asks you out, should he pay for date? For the drinks,
no,
for
I
the
don't
food?
think he has to. Like, I'm there, I'm enjoying my time. I'm not gonna make him like pay for both of it. It's just an incredibly good like green flag. If he's like, no, you're not paying anything, like that shows he really appreciates me. He understands my value.
Yeah.
He's generous.
Okay.
They're
All
good.
right.
It's just like a major green flag.
Okay.
It's not like a red flag. If he expects me to pay for his meal,
You
it's a
can.
red
By the
flag.
way, if you disagree with me, you can say it's a lot of women disagree with me on this.
Disagree with what? That a guy should always
That
pay?
that even in the instance where the guy suggests going out or suggests, hey, let's grab food, the guy is asking for the date. I mean, we'll get into that in a sec, but suggesting that it should still be split.
Oh, well, like I said, even no matter who asks out, I'll always like offer to split, but guys almost always are like, no, don't pay.
You're gonna feel a certain type of way. I feel like you'll feel a certain type of way if the guy says, okay, let's split.
Well, I mean, it's a little bummy, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know. Well, it's more just like, you know, there's a lot of guys who would pay
what?
for my
Yeah,
food.
would
That's
pay
a
for
really
your
good
food.
point.
I
Yeah,
know.
it goes on a scale at that
Brian,
point
you
then.
know I'm looking for a specific type of guy who's like very generous provider. So it's more, yeah, maybe it does.
I'm not hating on your view.
No, I know you're not hating on me, but yeah.
I know you're
guess-
more traditional, so
Yeah. Well, I'm just sort of, this honestly hasn't come up. It just really hasn't really been the case where I'm like, I'll split. I'm not going to be like an ungrateful little child and like throw a hissy fit about it, but it'll be noted. I don't know, but
It will
yeah,
be
if he
noted.
isn't, it'll be noted. It'll be noted. If he isn't in the, but yeah, the person I'll end up dating probably will be the guy who like will gladly and like easily like pay for my food.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense.
Probably.
Look, so okay, as far as the whoever asks should pay thing, look, more often than not, men are asking women out, women are not asking men out, generally speaking. So de facto, if whoever asks should pay is your answer might as well be men should pay on the first date, because women really aren't asking guys out like that for the first